Hello. So it's been kind of a while. Um, yeah, I've been good. It's crazy to think that I've been here in Matsuyama for almost a whole year now, and it's gone obscenely fast. Um, and it's been the most insane experience. I've met some really sweet people and explored the city a whole lot. Not just the city, but other parts of Japan and also Asia too. Like in February, sorry, I'm looking down here a little bit because I have some notes. In February, I went to Hiroshima, which was really nice. I went there again just on my own one weekend, and then the following week, my boyfriend Paul came to visit it, which was really nice. We met in Fukuoka and got the train down to Beppu, which was my first visit to Kyūshū, which was, yes, very cool. Um, he was, I think, keen to pack more in, but I suggested we kind of like slowed down a little bit this time, and I think that was a good decision on all fronts. Immediately, I think we were both pretty impressed by these huge plumes of smoke rising from the city. Like the cold air that we had in February also like made that even more impressive because like all over the city there are hot springs and there are just these massive plumes of steam, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, what else? So our hotel was part of like this massive, not massive, like a kind of small complex which had like two hotels, and then on top of one of them there was like a rooftop onsen and swimming pool and stuff, which was really cool. Yeah, so both of the hotels could use that onsen, so we made good use of that. Um, it had like a couple of baths and then a sauna and steam room as well. And then the baths looked out over the whole city to the north, which was really cool. We had Chinese food twice in a row. What else did we do? We explored Beppu's Hells, which are they're like a series of hot springs up in the hills, and they each have like special characteristics, like different colors. Like there was one that was bright blue. There was one that had loads of like mud pools, and then I don't know. There were geysers. There were like red pools. There's loads of stuff. It was super cool. And it was like a real tourist attraction. Like a lot of people were making their way around, but I think it was still cool. One of the places had a like an alligator farm, which was really weird, and I wasn't actually in love with that. They looked like in not great condition, but yeah. So they all have these like things. One of them has an aquarium. Yeah, and then one of the days as well, we got the train super early to Oita. Sorry, I sound really gravelly today. I'm a little bit ill. Um, so we went to Oita to get a train to like make a connection to get on this train that was called the Asso Boy, which was painted with like Astro Boy motifs. It was kind of cool. So we got the train to Kumamoto Prefecture, and we got off at Asso Station, and then we caught a bus up to the kind of like volcanic park, which is really cool. It was possibly like the coldest day of my life. I think -5 degrees, and all I had to deal with that was like a jumper and a pretty light windbreaker, which wasn't ideal. I was forced to go and buy a Kumamon hat. Maybe I could grab it. I don't really know where it is. Kumamon is like a bear from Kumamoto Prefecture. Yeah. I was scared of getting frostbite, so I had to keep my ears warm somehow. Best 1,500 yen I've ever spent, probably. The crater was really cool. It felt like a different planet, like so barren and misty and cold. There were little shelters kind of dotted around. When we got up there, the crater was closed because of dangerous levels of some gases or other. So we explored a kind of ridge with a great view down to the rest of the caldera, because Aso Kyūshū National Park is like it's all in a massive like super volcano crater, but then in the middle there's like the cones, so there are like a few different peaks and volcanoes around there. Yeah, and then Paul and I were deciding whether to get the bus back down, and I had this feeling that we should stick around for a while, which we did. So we kind of huddled in the little shelter, and I'm glad we did, because then someone came and told us that they had opened up the crater because it was only like mildly dangerous now, which was perfect, and it was quite something. Like, it really made me cough. It was really like super acrid and strange. Yeah, it felt kind of like spicy and sharp. And then the sun ended up coming out, which was nice. So we decided to spend some more time exploring like a series of little paths around the mountain area complex. And it seemed like instead of getting the bus down, we could walk. So we did that, which was a really good decision. I'd love to explore it in the summer too. I think it's a super cool place. Paul couldn't believe that he'd never heard of it. Like, I think he was really blown away by the scale of it all and like the spectacle of volcanoes. I don't know. It was a very volcanic trip. And I kept talking about how it was really amazing to like to see like geothermal power, because I'm just so not used to that from the UK. So down the mountain a bit, there's also like a completely stunning grassland with horses grazing, which it looked super dramatic because every year they do like a controlled burning of the grassland to keep everything in check, and so everything was like scorched and black, and again it felt kind of extraterrestrial in nature. So yeah, that was cool, and we walked around for like 40 minutes or so and then hopped on a bus back down to the town. We needed to get back because like the trains that run between Kumamoto and Oita Prefecture are like not very frequent, so yeah, I had to get back for that. And then yeah, we went back to like Beppu town, and we probably went to an onsen, went out for dinner, and then went to this like, oh yeah, we went to like a crazy hot onsen, like a very community feel one. It was only 200 yen, I think. And yeah, it was me, Paul, and then like a million grandpas who were all lobster red and steaming by the end of it. So fun. The next day we then caught a train up to some random village like a bit north of Beppu to make, I think it was on the Kunisaki Peninsula, which is a very cool like volcanic landform. I think it was called the Kumano Daibutsu Kumano Magaibutsu, I think, which is like we went to see these super old carvings of the Buddha. And the forest that it was all in was like really magical. It felt very remote. And it was, I mean, like, you can't get there with public transport. So we got to this village and then we walked about 2 hours up into the hills. Yeah, super cool. Kyūshū feels wild, like wilder than Ehime, I think, which maybe just comes from it being a slightly more like volcanically active place. It's hard to explain. I don't know. It just feels like very prehistoric almost. Like, I don't have a reason to think this, but it just has like a different character, and it seems to me like it felt more North American vibe in like wilderness expanse way. Yeah, and then on our way down I got mixed up with the timings, classic, and made Paul run in like his jeans and with his backpack at full speed for like 2 miles down to the train station for a train which wasn't actually coming for an hour and a half, so that was kind of annoying and awkward. I actually did that again recently. Like, I don't know why I'm so bad at timings. So yeah, that was fun. What else? What did we do? The next day, I think, was the day that we left. So we walked down by the beach. It was really sunny, and we just kind of like looked at the birds and the fish and stuff. And we caught a pretty early ferry from Beppu to Yawatahama, which is... Was it Yawatahama? Yeah. It's South Ehime Prefecture, which seems like a pretty charming little town. Not much to do, though. And then we just made our way back to Matsuyama. I love a good ferry, you know, so this one didn't disappoint. I've made it like a bit of a tradition to now have one little cup of sake every time I go on a ferry, so that's nice. And then what else? Just back to school for a while. Then after that we had Nyūgakushiki is like entrance ceremony. So like we had graduation and then entrance ceremony, which are big deals because the Japanese school year starts in April. So all of my kids from elementary school went to the next year, and the ones in final grade went to junior high school. So it was all very sweet, lots of singing and very formal. Yeah, that was nice. And then not long after that, I went at the end of April, I went to the Philippines with my friend Rai and Sam.